Hello. I am realizing that I forgot that I need to resize the chat when I switch over to this view. Let me fix that real quick. Hello, Lady Vivian. Thank you so much for popping in. I'm sure there's a way to do this more automatically. I just do not yet know what that is. Yeah, it can go a little taller than that. That's probably good. Yes, it's been a while since I have done any work on Carlisle. And one of the things I'm needing to come to terms with is that I might not be able to continue using this texture pack, which I love, but it's not being updated, and the creator is very understandably protective of their work, and so nobody else is able to update it either. But I still really like it, and I don't have a burning need to use blocks that are not covered by it yet, so I'm going to stick with it for now. Because I just do really like it. It's fun. So since my last episode, which was many months ago, I did finish the dormitory that I had started, and I copy pasted it a couple of times with rotation. So that's me learning a little bit of World Edit. Spoiler, I will probably not be playing with World Edit during this stream because I still have to click back and forth to tutorials to do it. And that's for really simple stuff like this, which like the paintings didn't come along with it, some of the beds didn't come along with it, the doors didn't come along, entities don't like to copy paste apparently. And I did not realize a door was an entity, but I probably should have. So yeah. I've done some fixing up of the insides here. I think most of these bedrooms at least had beds and such, and closets, but not much else. But that's also good because they shouldn't be too identical, and I am going to want to give them their own personality. Coming back to the original dorm, one of the things I really like about it is these sort of paintings that, just work really well in an academic setting, because you would have some bookshelves and such. And, along the side of the building, we've got these giant bulletin boards. I don't know what painting that is in vanilla, and whatever it is, it's not going to work as well as that. And just the rest of it is just sort of charming. But I don't have to update it today, so I'm not gonna. What I am going to do is work on building some of the main academic buildings now that we've got our dorms sort of set up. Would there be more buildings than that? Absolutely, even for a small to medium university. Am I going to make a realistic number of dorm buildings? Probably not. Oh, okay. I will check that out. I've actually been, following some other ones, but I do want to learn how to use some of the brushes and things to do better with the terraforming and such. Gonna level this off a bit. And yes, this is where you can tell that I'm very much a survival player. Is there a command that I could use to just replace above a certain Y level in this area with air? Sure. Do I know it off the top of my head? No. Am I going to worry about it? No, I'm just going to punch blocks and make them go away. And let the leaves decay like normal. One of the reasons I started this world was to learn more about creative and world edit, in addition to just helping me with the literal world building for this world. I think that's it. I don't think there's any more wood hiding up there, even though the leaves are taking forever. But in practice, it boils down to I make use of creative destruction and creative flight and the creative inventory, but that's about it. And I'm, again, probably not going to experiment too much on stream. I'm hoping that I'll get a better handle on world edit and then be able to play with using like maybe some brushes on stream. But that is not a today thing. Yeah, the windows. I really do like how those are done. And I think of this as a cottagecore pack, but really I'm kind of leading into the academia side of it, obviously, since this is an academic setting, although whenever I get around to building Vi's hometown and not her university, that's where more cottagecore would come into play. I'm not gonna get into using CITs like I had planned, because if I'm not going to be able to stick with the texture pack, then I definitely don't want to get attached to the CITs. Also, I think CITs actually drain more computer resources than mods. So I might look for a mod that gives the kind of blocks I want instead. But part of this too is I would like to be able to offer, yeah, I got spoiled with seeing it on Kelpie's videos, and Kelpie hasn't uploaded in a while either. I'm not sure what they have going on, but I hope they do come back to it soon and get some inspiration to maybe play with the new blocks. Although I recognize that one of the reasons they were staying in 1.16 was specifically this texture pack. And what's funny is I'm in 1.18.2 because of a mod I thought I was going to use. I thought I was going to use Chisels and Bits. And then the Hermits did their Create series. And I saw Tango's computer get completely trashed by a build that Carlisle had done using Chisels and Bits. I was like, okay, if a technical Minecrafter who must have a really good machine is getting crashed by this mod, I probably don't want to use it. Because not only was I at the time on a potato of a computer, but also if I want to be able to make this available as like, I don't know, a launch party favor type thing whenever I do get this book done and created and printed, then I want people to be able to use it without having to have a super duper awesome computer, because not everybody has a super duper awesome computer. you would need to be able to run Minecraft. But hopefully not need to be like super duper way OP computer with it. And I know I'm kind of also violating my own thing of let the world tell me what to do by doing terraforming and thinking about using brushes for terraforming, but there's always going to need to be some terraforming, I think. Just 'cause. Like even with that dorm, I was originally planning to build it a little more into the hillside here, and that was just turning out to be impractical. So I gave up on it. I would like to do that because that is very much a New England thing. I have not seen it as much when I've traveled to other parts of the US, but it is very much a New England thing to have buildings that are built into the side of hills rather than bother tearing down the hill, so you have walk-in level access on like floors 1 and 2, or even floors 1, 2, and 3, depending on how how the hill wraps around the building. There's actually a hospital not far from here that has walk-in access on 3 different levels for that reason. So I do want to try to get to where I can make that work, and maybe that'll work better with one of the classroom buildings, because they don't necessarily need... I was having a hard time with not having windows for some of the dorms, I guess, is part of what was giving me headaches. I really couldn't see that being a thing, and I've not seen that being a thing for dorms, but other types of buildings, yes. So yeah, usually not dwellings. Yeah. When I was at UMass Boston, that was for a whole different reason. You could, depending on what building you were going to and whatnot, there was an entry point on the first floor and the second floor, but it was because there were catwalks between the buildings, because it's right on the harbor and super windy. So walking outside there is just, really, Waldo? I'm not going to want to buy something from you, sorry. Oh, sorry, sheep. What was I saying? Oh, so there's a catwalk at the second floor level. So you could travel between all the buildings at the second floor level. They did also have a ground floor walk-in access. But very rarely were you going, unless you were going between 2 immediately adjacent buildings at the first floor level, you almost never walked outdoors. Or I almost never walked outdoors, because it's just so windy. And we're not recreating that experience though, so that will not be a thing here. There might be some buildings that are connected with underground passageways. That is a thing I have also seen. which is really useful in the winter because you don't want to go out in the cold to get from building 1 to building 2. But it's typically not like all the buildings. Although I imagine there are probably some places that may have gone that route. I've not actually seen them. Alright, I think this is going to be far enough down. This should give us enough floor level to work with. I love that, what is that, andesite texture, I think? Yeah, andesite. Is it though? Because you always underestimate how much room you're going to need. Right? Well, part of the thing with this world has also been building from the inside out. Figure out what I need a classroom to look like. I might grab a mod that has things like chairs and desks in it, but for now I will just use stairs and upside down stairs as placeholders, because I presume those things do at least consume a block of space. Alright, so what do I have in my survival inventory? I have some dark oak stairs. Sure, let's do that. So let's say this is a classroom here. Got some outside space, got some wall space, got some distance from the wall, and there would be, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. And again, it's not going to be super realistic. There would almost certainly be way more than I can fit in a reasonable Minecraft build. Hello, hello, Dr. Liz. Welcome. Have you seen this world before? I don't recall. That's not where I want that. Yeah, I need more room here. And the way this land comes in, but I can terraform that out. This tree's got to go bye-bye. I'm demonstrating how little I get about making good use of creative by just punching blocks instead of, you know, using a command to replace a chunk of area with air. Yes, this is the school. This is Carlisle University for the book I've been working on forever that has been on the back burner for a while, that I'm hoping to pull off the back burner and actually get working on, and I'm hoping that working on building the world will help get me into the mindset for it. Okay. Yeah, because I don't remember the command and can't be bothered with it at the moment. I am very clearly a survival player who's using creative and not somebody who's used to using creative very efficiently. I have actually played a little with World Edit on here, not much. And ultimately, one of the things I want to use World Edit for is to be able to use some brushes to do better terraforming, which is why I'm not getting too fussed with the terraforming at the moment. Alright. And I'm trying to get an idea for how large this area needs to be. If it's going to have a couple classrooms and a couple offices per floor. Like, it doesn't have to be fully realistic. It's not going to be fully realistic. Oh, darn it. So that's 12 whole people. You would not have a class that small. Like, not even my university, which is very much about the small classes, would have a classroom this small. But I think if I make it much larger, this building's going to end up huge. Not door. There we go. Ah! There we go. And all right. I don't know if you were here yet, Dr. Liz, when I was saying these are not the blocks that would be in the ultimate final draft. I'm just going for size. I am thinking I'm going to have to go with a different resource pack and possibly look into a mod that instead has some of the things I want in it, because this texture pack is no longer being updated. And as much as I love Mizuno's Ghoulcraft, I do want to be able to play with things like mangrove wood and eventually cherry wood. And Mizuno's is no longer updating. Alright, I got block bricks. No? Well, I can just go over here and get them. Thank you. Alright, let's leave some room. Oh, and am I going to do the double thick walls thing like I did there? Huh. That definitely complicates things. But if you want to have the inside walls different than the outside walls, that's a thing. Honestly, I might have people right up against the wall then. Because I don't know, I think this is going to be pretty large as it is. I should have grabbed the white terracotta while I was in there. So for the inner wall, yeah, I need room for something that would be like a whiteboard. I almost said blackboard, you know, because I'm ancient and I remember using actual blackboards in school. Okay. And a door there. Actually, Monquisha! Hello and welcome! Come on. And door there. Let me test and see if this works. So I did create a command for it. Awesome! I didn't put it on a timer, but... Okay. And then I would want at least 4, 5 for the central. I think that's what I ended up doing in the dorm, and that felt about right. 3 just feels too tight. So yeah, 5 for the central space. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some more over here too. So you're playing while you're listening. What are you working on? I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess something that involves mushrooms, Bunquisha. And Lady Vivian, I have absolutely no idea, because I'm not sure which SMP you're on. And even then, I probably wouldn't have much of an idea which project you were working on, because I can't keep track. All right. So what did the dimensions of that ended up being anyway for the inside? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Even number, don't like it, but okay. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 14 by 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And of course, that's not correct because I was counting the inside, not the outside. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. So obviously a survival player as I crouch to avoid falling, which is not a problem in creative. So I'm gonna want the land to come out to at least here. Get out of my way. And no, even one more than that, because once that turns, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's gonna have to go one more before it turns, and then the brick goes on the outside of that. Eesh. Why does everything end up having to get so big? Okay. So my goal for today is a couple of academic buildings. Probably a combination of, whatchamacallit, classrooms and offices. So, you're working on getting lava on the Vale to build Alder's Tower. I still have yet to read the books, so I'm not sure what that is, but I imagine it'll be cool because I have always enjoyed your towers, Lady Viv. That is too high. It's amazing how cluttered your inventory can get up even in creative. When you have sticks and apples falling all over the place. But at least it's a little easier to get rid of them. Okay. So we're gonna have to bring this up to there. I'm not gonna bother making that. Come on, get up. There we are. I'm not going to bother with the landscape too much because that is going to be part of learning world edit brushes to make that look a little better. Because what terraforming I have done so far is super clunky. And I do think that using the brushes that I've seen, I think it was actually Generous use for terraforming would be helpful in coming up with something that's a little more nuanced. And Dr. Liz, you're putting a second nether portal in your solo world to try and get better access than the Crimson Forest. Good luck with that. You're going to end up with a basalt delta. This is my prediction. Because when you don't spawn into a Crimson Forest, you spawn into, not you personally, just the general you, it ends up being a basalt delta. Is my opinion of the odds of nether portal spawns. Okay. Alright, so I'll have another 2, 3, 4 door. 1, 2, 3, 4 door. Okay. Now these don't need to be too thick between the classrooms, and maybe it's 2 classrooms and 2 office suites on this floor. And Bonquisha. Yeah, basalt delta is definitely. I'm not sure if it's something I'd like to look at, but it's certainly impressive to look at. I think the only nether biome I like to look at is the warped forest, to be honest. Come on. Almost forgot gold. Oh, that would be bad. No. True. Magma cubes are at least more predictable than hoglins. Hoglins are just awful. Okay. Alright. So then if this is going to be, let's say it's just like a department office. So when you come in the door, one thing I don't like about, I love this white terracotta, except for this bit. I'm not super crazy about that end bit. Get out of there. So you come in, and we're using dark oak for everything, so get a little walking space. So you've got somebody here. Probably some file cabinets back here. What can I mark those with? No, let's not replace that. Let's replace that. Okay. Even when you try to go paperless, yeah, still end up needing some file cabinets. Okay. And then the wall runs along behind here. And there's probably a divider right about here for somebody's individual office. Nope. There we go. And bookshelves. That I don't think I have anywhere because I was using, hello, wrong key. Can I just... I thought there was supposed to be a thing where I could make that just go away. Fine, I'm gonna end up picking those back up in a second. Maybe not right there because I put them too close, but someplace for a student to sit. Okay. And this university have a specialty. Well, the main character does. She's majoring in nursing. You know, right? What you know, right? But it's a liberal arts university that has a little bit of everything. Yeah, we're gonna have to extend this down a bit. Get at least one more office in here. Right, yeah. And yeah, other things I need to practice when I'm not on camera include the /fill command. Ooh. How? I have mixed feelings about the nether ceiling, to be honest, Lady Vivian. I like it for farms. But I'm also a real fan of doing like really decorative nether tunnel systems, and people don't tend to do that when they're using the nether roof for travel. That's the one thing I'm not crazy about with using the nether roof. You've done both on the veil? Yeah, that's true. You have. And I can't really use Eternia as a point of comparison because the main reason we don't use the Nether system a lot is because we just don't use the Nether a lot. Because we do have the other forms of transport. And the other thing with using the roof for travel is it does also make it harder to do some of the farms that are best done on the roof. Although certainly Mr. Dipster managed a perfectly good gold farm in Eternia. Okay. Let me just do like a mirror image of that, I guess. I'm getting more into the interior decorating than I really want to do, considering I know these won't be the final blocks. There we go. Okay. There would not be an office with not too far. Like that ish. Yeah. Have a slightly different entry point. Now, if you're coming in here as a student, you have to go past the faculty member's desk. That's kind of obnoxious, so maybe that door should be there. Okay. Well, you're not that spread out, and there's not that many of you on the Vale, too, which is also a factor. Alright, and then this just becomes hallway within the suite. Okay. Another waste cave. That's not bad. Excellent. I am so glad you got a better spawn this time. And basically mirror that over here. Excuse me, llama. Could you, like, hurry up and despawn? What did I... Let's just bring this wall down. Hello, sheep. Okay, so then this will be the entrance from this end of the building. What am I missing in chat? Ah, good. Good, I'm not that behind in chat. Alright. So that's more or less what we've got going on here. What did I use for a floor in the dorms? Just so I don't use the same thing. I just used stone brick. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be stone brick. How about smooth stone? Because it's not going to be super fancy, no matter what. Yeah, I ended up picking those back up before. I'm going to end up picking them back up again. I thought there was a trash can, though. Oh, it's when you're in your survival inventory that there's a trash can. Okay. Whatever. Now I don't need it. That we all want to find a nice bit of old nether for the stuff we need. I know, right? I do appreciate that they made more interesting nether, but since I'm one of those weird people who prefers to play on peaceful because I play in spite of dealing with hostile mobs, and would just as soon not bother. Yeah. This music is way too intense for laying floor. Gotta say. Yeah, I found it. It's in when you're in the survival inventory that it's there, and not when you're in the search screen. Apparently. Which is weird, but whatever. It's Minecraft. Everything's weird. Okay. Oh, and that's where this is going to get fun, that I made this one deep. Because this is where stairs would need to go. Do we even have smooth stone stairs? Is that a thing? I don't think I've ever made them, if so. Yeah, no, just blocks and slabs. So I can do stone brick stairs, which probably are in my survival inventory. Yes. And yeah, how that works is right. The things you don't think of until well, this is one of many reasons I'm doing this in creative. Right. Yeah. So, the ground axe actually needs to be one lower. And I'll have to come up with some sort of like pathway that goes up the hill. Someday, I will be the kind of builder who thinks these parts of the build through before actually starting building. Would actually be out here more. And I do love the whole punch and replace mechanic in creative, gotta say. That is fun. I actually find it easier than straight up placing blocks. I don't tend as much to end up misplacing blocks. I do, but not as much. I think it's because of the way you have to target the block, maybe? You know, I was really worried about that specifically for shulkers. So I do have shulker boxes with, probably no longer necessary now that I have enough landmarks to work from, but with lodestone compasses in them in my ender chest. And anytime I broke them, I would switch to survival to break them. But I think that's actually not necessary if what I don't remember if it's something I saw somebody do or read or whatever. Which I guess I could just experiment, because, you know, science. Yeah, something like that. All right. Probably want more margin than that around it, but that'll do for the moment. Yeah, let's science this. Pink shulker box. What the? Oh, there we go. And let's just throw a whole bunch of stuff in it. Okay. Now. Yeah. Punching it doesn't destroy it. So it's now in my creative inventory with the stuff I threw in there. So yeah, I was being very paranoid for a while there that I was gonna probably will. Oh, I can use this because now I have it over there to pick. Really, sheep? How did I do that over here? That looks too wide. Yeah, that is too wide. Okay. I had decided that this university does also have an ag program because there were so many horses when I got here, Bunquisha. So I built them a barn, decided, well, actually a full-on stable, and decided that there's an equestrian program and there's an ag program here, which, why not? Degrees for sheep. I mean, considering the whole parchment thing, I imagine they would not be too thrilled, in fact, with getting a degree. All right. All right. Figure out windows after I've gotten it set. How about I start with the one that actually is set up like a classroom first? One of the things that went wrongish with the dorms was how I went about dealing with the height of the walls on each floor, partly because of of what? Because I was using different blocks for the floor on one level and the ceiling on the next. So we're not doing that here, I don't think. Because that was a colossal pain in the neck, and the floor heights are very weird in the dorms as a result. I would just as soon they not be weird in the classroom building. There's that. Now, right, 3 high should be good, and then ceiling. Okay. Let's see, and what would I want for a ceiling? What's a good ceiling block? True. Sinking floors are a thing. What do I have to work with for a floor? I really don't want to go with wooden floor because that's just not a thing that I really see ever in university buildings. Like I'm thinking of UMass, UConn, UHart, Central Connecticut State, any of the community colleges. It's tile. The ceiling is the obnoxious ceiling tiles and the floor is just some kind of tile. Is there a good block that works for both? Yeah, they don't wear well, so that's just not a thing. That's what a block of diamond looks like in this texture pack. Now I just need to see what that looks like in the world. Wow. Okay. That is not a thing we're going to use, but that is interesting to know. Is block of emerald up here somewhere? Well, amethyst isn't covered because this only goes up to 1.16, so that's just going to look vanilla. What does a block of emerald look like? Now I'm curious. Same idea. Okay. Calcite will look good for ceiling. I don't know that it's going to look good for floor on the next level. Oh. Can I grab some lanterns? Alright, that works pretty well. Is that going to look reasonably spaced inside? Is it even? Yeah. Yeah, that looks okay. But then, what about... Just reminded me one of our residents has a pool in it. They had a pool in it. They had to empty the pool and stop using it because the weight was pulling the residents down the hill. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that being a problem. Yeah, so now the question is, does this work for a floor on the next level, or do I have to do the thing where it goes too thick and that does something weird to the outside of the building? Because I can say something forced perspective about this these dorms, but the floors are in fact different heights, not on purpose. What did I do here? Come on, get on the ground. Right, so yeah, ceiling here, I actually did use stripped wood. And I did use stripped wood for the floor, which is probably not a great call for a dorm. This one was only one thick. Was it the next one that ran into that problem? It ended up needing to be too thick. I don't know. Some nonsense. So wait, but this one's not too thick. So this floor was 1, 2, 3, 4 tall. And then you've got this. And then 1, 2, 3. Oh, I only made this 3 tall, that's why. Which did, to be fair, feel more like it for the residential part, but then making it work with the outside of the building got weird. And what have I done here? So it's 1, 2, 3, and then ceiling. So I can probably do a different floor, even if I just go back to, no, not that. This. And maybe use stone brick as a delineator on the outside. But this is where the next floor starts. This might be the way to go. Of course, I have not made it possible to get from floor 1 to floor 2, because unlike I created the spiral staircase in the dorms, there should in fact be a way to get from floor 1 to floor 2, even if there's an elevator with no. What was I saying? Oh, Bee's cooking. Awesome. What is Bee cooking? Yeah, there needs to be some way to get from floor 1 to floor 2. How much space do I need to pull that off? I don't want it to be the same design. Okay, in here. Yeah, it is 3 by 3. Okay. Okay, and just something up the middle. Nope, that's gonna have to be set back one more. So this classroom might be able to go to here. Something like that. The door. I may not bother with elevators. I am not sure it is worth bothering with elevators. Well, that is how it would look out here. Let's see, am I gonna continue? Alright, and then this is... Practical things are so challenging to work out sometimes. What else does this need, and how many floors does it need? Typically, well, I mean, it varies a lot. Like, I've been in university buildings where the floors got up into double digits, and others where nothing ever goes above 4. This is fairly small, so I think it's probably going to stay to no more than 4 floors. Like, if there's one extra tall building, that'll be the one with 5. That's got us through the hallway. And see, one of the things I ended up doing in the dorm, stir fry rice and some of the dumplings you made earlier. Nice. All right. Yeah, the university I currently work at is the nothing's above 4 floors type. Unless you start counting the basement as a floor. Alright, let's work on mocking up a little more of the outside. If anyone thought this was going to be organized in any way, shape, or form, I am sorry to disappoint. I've started to notice some streamers literally putting ADHD in their tags, and I should probably do that. Because it, 1, is true, and 2, is very evident in the way I jump around projects. And the way I just squirrel and end up. There are creeper sounds in this song, yes. Orchestereo uses a number of Minecraft inspired sounds. I don't think it's a legit creeper sound. I don't think he would be able to do that and put it out as DMCA free the way he does, but I could be wrong. Oh, I'm so sorry. In at least one of these songs, there's an actual explosion sound, although it is very clearly not the sound you would hear from a creeper actually exploding next to you. But it still makes me jump sometimes. That'd be the Hogloon Parade one. Which does not, in fact, sound like Hogloons. To me, anyway. As far as delineating the floors from the outside, I'm not sure how evident that will be in the final product, but just the frustration I had with the dorm buildings has made me want to make it really clear to myself, at least while it's in process. Okay. Now, I guess the floor should be the same as the first floor. One thing I had done in the dorms, which would be more of a thing really if it were survival, was I had and not peaceful, had the sea lanterns come through the floor and just put carpets. Oh right, the whole reason I was building up the walls was so I could start thinking about windows, which I am not doing. I am laying floor. Like I said, my ADHD comes out to play in full force in this game. Which is, I think, one of the reasons I find this game so addictive is because you get the dopamine of I did a thing, but also you can jump around all over the place from thing to thing. I probably do want to work out windows before I get too much further with the walls down here, actually. And this is where this could stand to be taller, because one high windows look silly, but two high windows aren't really going to work. The one high windows are going to have to work. Nope. Pick block, thank you. Nope. Okay, and now I need to think about what that means for the brick part. Actually, I think what I ended up deciding on the other, and it makes sense here too, because then you have a window sill that you can put stuff on. And I think you usually do. I'm trying to picture. That's not unusual to have in a classroom, and they end up putting books and stuff up on there. Can't do pick block on a Mac? Oh, that is sad. Okay, and how does that look outside? Well, I can't see anything because there is still tree here, because there's still wood up here somewhere. Was that the only piece of wood keeping these leaves alive? No. There is probably more. Dr. Liz, you managed to put fast leaf decay in single player, didn't you? I'm gonna have to try that. Okay, that does look a little weird out here. Not gonna lie. Does it look any less weird if I give this a little more dimension by doing something like that, maybe? Which is essentially what I ended. Yeah, It's a data pack on Vanilla Tweaks? Okay. This does look weird out here. So, do I make the classroom taller, make the floor on this level calcite, and potentially use carpets to mask the lights? And then I can make these too tall and that will look more balanced. Let's see, stone brick slab. Why do I have a, oh, from messing with World Edit, that's why. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I think that does it. Thank you, Dr. Liz. Yeah, that does balance it a lot better. Figure out what I'm doing with the doorway in a bit. Okay. Oh, this will just go right over the door. It annoys me that even in creative, well, it would look weird on the inside unless I raise the ceiling. So that there could be wall above the windows. But this does solve the, I think this solves it better. Okay. Okay. I feel like there should be have to be 2 and 2. Those are sea lanterns, not glass. Okay. Okay. In general, 3 high walls feel more natural in Minecraft because that's another meter over your head. And while, yes, classroom buildings can be a bit taller than that, I don't know. I don't want to turn it into a skyscraper either. Now, oh, that was the other thing I ran into. And even in this, there are not half slabs of what do you call it? Terracotta. Which is another problem, to be honest. And maybe that is another problem that could be solved with a mod. Rather than, I don't know if you were here before, Dr. Liz, when I was talking about this resource pack that I'm using. As much as I'm enjoying it and really think it fits the vibe I'm going for really well, it only goes up to 1.16. And I am at some point probably going to want to play with things like mangrove wood and cherry wood, and when I get into some of the more fantastical stuff, maybe even stuff like frog legs. So I was planning to use some of the CITs that come with this, but also they seem to be a higher memory drain. Yeah, these are just vanilla textures. Right. Sorry. Yes, those would just be vanilla textures, as is the calcite. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I'm not sure they would end up fitting the vibe. I may wait until I get to that point, or the other thing is I had been planning to use some of the CITs for decoration, but those do tend to be a memory drain. And if I'm going to potentially make this world available as a download for like a party favor door prize type thing for whenever this book actually gets launched, then right, they're entities. I'm not sure if it's better or worse to use a mod that has blocks that would serve the purposes I want. So I'm going to need to do my homework on that a little bit. Because I do want to be able to have like chairs and desks that actually look like chairs and desks. Without exploding. I mean, come on. This computer is much better than my old one, but it has limits too. What has fewer limits than I might think? This computer? I mean, I have definitely retired the notion of using chisels and bits for this because of how I have seen that tank a heavy-duty technical player's computer. If that's going to happen to them, then not only is even my new computer not going to withstand that, but if I'm going to potentially offer the world download as a, as a thing to go with the launch party of the book, then I want to make sure people can actually use it without crashing their computers. So, yeah, Chisels is intense. Oh, my new PC? It may have fewer limits than I think. But I also want to make sure that what I'm offering to people is actually usable if I'm offering it as a download. And not just a thing that I do while I'm writing the book to give me the ability to literally walk around in the world to block out scenes and such. Is that a thing I'll end up doing? I don't know. Is that a thing people would even want? I don't know. But it is an idea that I had that it would be, as far as I know, unique. Because even that one author that is super into Minecraft that like ended up getting invited onto Hermitcraft and everything, I don't know that he's done that with his worlds. And if anybody was going to do that, I would think it would have been him. Oh, armor stands can be sealed, yes. Yeah, once you lock, and it depends on what armor stand tool you use, but I've been given to understand that even in survival, once they are locked, armor stands are not a problem. That you can have hundreds and thousands of them and not cause anybody, including a server that they're being hosted on, any kind of problems. At some point, I will probably join the SMP of the Master of Armor Stands where they were invented and learn a lot more about them. And whether that will end up coming into play for this world, I don't know. Or if I'll end up just getting like the simple flint one that we use on Eternia. And why do I have... What did I do? Oh, those are the file cabinets, right. Iron blocks probably would have made more sense. But I didn't want to pull out yet another... The statues book. Yeah, I have never used the statues book, but that is what I would end up using in that world, I'm sure. Okay, file cabinets should not be coming all the way up to the ceiling. Not that I haven't worked places where that was the case, but I don't want to do that. Okay, lights right over this person's desk, I think. What is this space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we'll do that. There we go. But I also... Oh no, because, right. This is where you come in... And this is the person who's like basically making the department actually function, and you check in with them and then go see your professor down here. Okay, yeah. And then in here, these are a little longer. I'll probably still go with the 3 long fluorescent lamps, fluorescent overhead lights. Same pattern, maybe? no. Why is this? This ended up being only 4 wide because it has a wall, right? So we'll do that. And that. There we go. Those would be a lot of files. Not even half of what we have in my department, but right. Right, so this hallway needs a ceiling and needs ceiling lights. And it's only 2 wide, so that's fun. I think for here, what we end up doing is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then you come out to here, and I guess maybe another. Because this is usually the brightest part. That does not look great, but it's what I got for now if I don't want to have to change the entire other half of the building to push this wall out one. Yeah, let's give this a floor that makes sense. Okay. 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 I think I'm reasonably okay with that. Okay. And ooh, forgot that did that. Okay. Okay, this just looks weird, so even though it's going to be covered by something. Okay. Does it matter whether this is filled up? No. Ah, come on. But it's easier for me to think it through. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to get good with the fill command because this is a serious waste of time. But I have played with it, not on camera, and had some very interesting disasters, so that'll be a maybe next time kind of thing. How often is it putting that in the chat? It has not been 20 minutes. It's supposed to be giving 20 minutes at least. Alright. And I'm just assuming that when I really get into the interior, this side of the two sides of the building will be mirror images of each other. So I'm not going to go into as much, I'm not going to go into any detail on this side. Really. Right. So this is an encased stairwell, and the stairway is weird, but whatever. Would that work better as a stone stair, maybe? Not cobblestone stair, just stone stair. I think that's a little better. And if you're continuing to go up, this will continue to be there. Yeah. Okay. At the moment, and this is partly impatience on my part, but I'm really thinking this is going to be a 3-story building. I feel that so much, Dr. Liz. Yes. Yeah. That is a very Minecraft problem. Too many materials for your inventory, but not enough to build the stuff you want to build. Okay. And I think only the first 2 floors are getting done today because it has already been almost 2 hours, hasn't it? Yeah, it has. Yeah. Well, probably at least some of the academic/classroom buildings will end up being 4, and maybe the administration's office might end up being 5. Though to be fair, I'm modeling that in my head on a university where, yeah, it was 5 floors, but also the first 2 had nothing to do with administration. It was like the bookstore and the health center. All right. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. Self Y. Okay. And then it's 1, 2, 3 calcite ceiling. Let's come over to the done side. 1, 2, 3 calcite ceiling. And then smooth stone for the next floor. There's wall there. Okay. And then I follow this pattern. Do that. Stairs. Why must you? Okay, so that's 2 floors. That's 1, 2, 3. Ceiling. Floor. No, we're not going for a 4th floor. Well, alright, but is that roof? Maybe that's roof. What did I do over here for roof? Just stone bricks. That would probably be consistent Setup is classes and student space, ground floor, staff entrance to the library, second floor, faculty and free staff on the third floor. Yeah, that sounds... Means the mail people hate delivering stuff because they have to climb all the way. Yeah, but you're out of the way of student chaos. Whereas my university does tend to have things really sprinkled in together. Like, in my building, literally every floor has a department on it. At least one department of offices, and then classrooms. And the libraries, partly because we have two, are their own building, although they're part of a bigger complex that has other stuff in it. All right. What am I doing? No, that's the third floor. And then roof. Smaller departmental buildings except for arts. Each has a floor. Wow. That sounds like absolute luxury. It's only recently that my department even just has our own suite. We used to share with another department. To be fair, we were a very small department until recently. And it was always a bit weird. Managing the overlap between the two. I may end up changing. You know what else I haven't done? I haven't put any kind of restrooms in here. Admittedly, there is only a single seater on each of the dorm floors, which is frankly ridiculous. But again, making it much bigger just blew the whole thing out of proportion. But there should be at least one on each floor in these buildings. Why did I do that way? Don't know. example, for you law is the only thing in your building, you have nothing law outside that building. That sounds like absolute luxury. Bathrooms are important. Now, see, yeah, we are definitely a much smaller because physics, chemistry, bio, engineering, computer science, architecture, all one building. Classrooms could be all over the place. The labs are contained within that one building. But the idea of like just physics or just chemistry having their own building is just, yeah, that is not a thing. Oh yeah, and at some point I need to put a basement in the dorm buildings too, don't I? Because there need to be laundry facilities somewhere. In fact, there is a scene that depends on it, and that has it in the basement. I think the trend these days is to have a little laundry area at the end of each dorm floor, but I did not give myself enough room to work with for that. And, you know, New England, old buildings. I'm placing blocks in time with this song, aren't I? I wondered where that rhythm had come from. Uh-huh, there we go. Yep, that was it. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people probably save it up to bring home to their parents. Depends how much going home on the weekends is a thing and how within range people are. Okay. Thank you. If I can at least get the shell completed today, I will be happy. And I probably will do a certain amount of copy paste of this building too, just like I did with the dorms. Which is another reason not to put a bunch of entities into it, because I have learned the hard way, entities do not like to copy paste. Or they do so weirdly, especially if you rotate the building. Because with the dorm, I had it all decorated up and everything, and then did the copy paste, and I had beds and paintings and doors flying everywhere. It was so ridiculous. I wish I had been recording. I actually might have been, but that might have been one of the recordings that got corrupted. Because I don't think that ever made it into an episode. I don't think I've done an episode since I started trying to play with World Edit. But I'm hoping this will turn into one. Whenever I have time to get it edited up anyway. Okay. It would have been a great scene. I was so annoyed both that it happened and that I wasn't recording. Or that I don't remember. That might have been one of the ones where I did the recording and it got corrupted. But in any case, I just never made it to anywhere, and that would have been just so hilarious. You know, after the fact. I may have been screaming some non-family friendly language at the time. That is a distinct possibility. Right? This this disaster wouldn't have been so bad if I had managed to commit it to, you know, being able to show it to other people. Not quite how you usually approach disasters, but you know, whatever. It's funny because it really is kind of it's the mess ups often that make an episode. My most watched video on my channel remains how to link a hopper and a dispenser, which I just got a comment last week from somebody saying, oh my gosh, this helped me so much. And I'm like, okay, well, since then I have learned you should probably do this with a dropper, not a dispenser, depending on what you're putting inside of it. But glad it's still useful. But it was literally mostly me screwing up, which from a learning how this stuff works standpoint does have value. Like, you would think this would make sense, because I sure did, and it doesn't work that way. And that video is, I mean, Lady Viv, that's from the Christmas Village on Survivorcraft, when I made the Naughty or Nice game. First real ever attempt at anything Redstone. And it was basically just, you threw things in, you could throw anything in, didn't matter what, and you would get either a cookie or a piece of coal. Probably charcoal, easier to get enough of it. What did I just do? Okay. So yeah, that's like 5 years old. Yeah, my first Redstone, my first mini game. And somehow people still find it useful. But that's also why when people say, you know, oh, I was trying to figure out how to do this Redstone thing, and I went to fill in super duper redstoner tutorial here and I couldn't figure it out, I'll say no, that's not that person's audience is people who already know redstone. You want either somebody who's just a few steps ahead of you or somebody who's really skilled at breaking things down for beginners, and I usually point them to Pixel Riffs because most of the early days redstone stuff he hits on at some point. Yeah, this is the stairwell. Which I understand from watching his stream today, his storage episode is coming out tomorrow, and I don't know if that's going to be automated storage yet, but if it is, that is one of the reasons I'm playing along with his 1.20 world. Because I know it's an impulse system, but I think I will understand it better from Pix. Which is probably not fair to say without having gone back to watch Impulse's original tutorial, or whatever the most recent one is, I should say. I have no idea how long it took you to make that sad machine. Actually, I do, because you were talking about it in the, yeah. But, yeah, that seemed really painful. And Lady Viv, if you're still there, a sad machine is a slow automated death machine. Which means Stina got into it and basically she would have to push a button or hit a lever, do one thing, and then just go along for the ride and die somehow. But the idea was it had to be slow and interesting in some fashion, like not just drop her into a pit and let her die of starvation. That VOD is probably long gone, and I don't know that anybody made any videos of it. Yeah. Yeah, Logical Geek Boy is another one that I have not really done anything with his tutorials, but people seem to find him very easy to follow along with as well. This is the Hoglin parade song, Dr. Liz. So this one has not only creeper noises, but explodification noises. So, and screams, yeah. Just as a little, heads up. Yes, get up and stretch. That is a thing I should probably do soon too, but I'm at this point just really want to finish the shell of this thing. So it won't be too much longer, I don't think. But you know, that's Minecraft for you. You say it's not going to be that much longer, and then suddenly it's, you know, 3 hours later. But I don't have time for 3 hours later. I have something at the top of the next hour. So I had best actually get a move on here. This is the stairwell. Yeah, that can be, they can see, you can see the bricks on the stairwell, that's fine. Come on. There we go. Okay. Like logic for simplicity, whereas Ilmango makes things as complex as possible. Yeah, I have never attempted to follow an Ilmango tutorial on anything. Ilmango is one of the ones who I will watch just so that I can smile and nod and go, wow, that's cool. And not even, yeah, that is not a thing I'm likely to do. Whatever it is you just did there. But I mean, some of the, yeah, like Logical Geek Boy is obviously a very technically minded player and is able to make things simple for people. Tango. You know, I actually understand how that sugar farm works, and I understand the change that was made to it, that he made to it when he built it on Empires and turned it into bamboo instead. So I guess it's that there are two skill sets involved. One is making the thing, and the other is explaining the thing. And those don't always go together. Because, you know, that's fine. Not everybody has to be good at everything. Whew. The creeper sound has caught you unaware a few times, Bonquisha? Yeah. Catches me unaware a few times. I'm playing in creative and peaceful, and it has caught me unaware. So... which also works for listening to streams while working on stuff. I was working on stuff on the greenhouse in an area that, as far as there's a specific mob that, yes, is absolutely present there and a problem, but this stone brick, yeah, okay. But there shouldn't have been any others. And I start hearing skeletons and whatnot, and I'm like, what is happening? How is that possible? Yeah, no, it was in Pix's stream, not where I was. This is such an incredibly mellow song to follow that other one. Okay. And we're just going to continue this all the way around. Yell at the stairs for not placing properly. What was I gonna say? I had a thing that just popped into my head that was like, oh, I should say something about, and then no. It's gone. Alright. Since I don't have to worry about mobs, the roof can go on without worrying about the, there it is. Without worrying about the lighting inside. Alright. What did I end up doing over there? I added walls, I think? Yeah. Because you know somebody's going to go up there to smoke. So let's make sure they don't fall off. And there should be some sort of like ventilator looking, fan looking stuff. Okay, have a good night and have a wonderful dinner. Thank you so much for hanging out. Okay. Oh, you know what I will still get in here is bats, though. That's annoying. That's definitely dark enough for bats over here. Yeah. They're just annoying. Yellow. Okay. I think I should at least be able to get this much done and then maybe stick the wall around the perimeter and then we'll call it for today. Should the stairwell actually come up to the roof is another question. I suppose it should, because if people are going to come up here to smoke, they need a way to get up here. And, you know, do maintenance on the air vents. Since I'm not doing the glassed-in thing like I did with the dorms, I'm gonna have to think about a different way to enclose that. Because usually that's some sort of little hut-looking thing on the roof, right? Blocks, go where I want you to go. I guess. Oh, this is definitely harder once it's enclosed. Come on. This is probably the least efficient way possible to do a spiral staircase. Even in survival, but much less creative. But it is the way my brain works with them, so. I gotta check that timer. It is definitely running some stuff more frequently than it is supposed to. And then other times it, you know, skips stuff entirely, so who knows. And then from there, that. This is where I would be tempted to use andesite because I really like the way that looks in this resource pack, but since I am unlikely to stick with this resource pack, that is probably not a great idea. And come on. I don't think this roof is going to stay because I'm not liking it. As long as it works, yeah, true. It is so nice not to have to worry about spawn proofing. I can have a roof made out of top slabs. Yay. Does that look like it belongs there? Not really. I don't think I can bring it in anymore though. Just throw that there for the moment. Can I bring it in? The real question is, can somebody walk up here without hitting their head? Yes. Okay. Can't have anything under that. Anything there? Yes. That will have to go away, but again, trying to prevent bats for the moment. Alright, that'll do for the moment. And this is, yeah, the access hatch. Oh yeah, that throws the roof all off, doesn't it? Hmm. Can I just bring it all in one? That looks better. Not great, but it's not meant to look particularly great. It's just the access hatch to the roof that probably has some tools in it for, again, maintenance-y stuff. Nope, not that. Thought this was walls. There we go. Nope. Some brick wall. There we go. The walls wouldn't attach like that, but there is not much else I can do about it because I can't bring that in any further. Okay. All right. Has a lot of work that still needs doing. But I think we have academic building template number 1. Good grief, that thing's huge. I mean, to be fair, classroom buildings tend to be, but this holds so little inside. Oh my. Well, but such is the nature of Minecraft. Okay. I am going to call that there. Come on over here. Looking up at it from the ground. I mean, obviously it's going to need windows on those upper floors and whatnot, but yeah. I think it's got good bones. Isn't that what they say about fixer-upper buildings? Yeah. So, it's beginning to look like campus, yes! Alright, let's see who else is streaming Minecraft. Got Old Man Shorty, Bruno, Raiseworks, Scousey, Mousehole SMP. That sounds very interesting. Let's pop over there. Scousey MC. You switch over to my thank you screen and say thank you very much for hanging out and keeping me company and for suggestions and feedback on that. So typing the raid command in no longer seems to work properly, so let me get onto the Twitch dashboard because That's not annoying.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. This looks very interesting. Alright, let's go on over and see what's up with the Mousehole SMP. Thanks again for hanging out with me, and have a wonderful rest of your day.